I am live and I had to redo yesterday's because it didn't post. So I'm going to probably try to do two of these as part of my Misogi, which is every day sharing live ideas. So this is called Consistency Beats Motivation Every Time. I'm going to start by telling it through a story. One of my earliest mentors in the sales training, sales consulting space was a gentleman named Ken Krogh. And Ken Krogh was a co-founder of a company called InsideSales.com, which eventually hit a valuation of $1 billion. And I asked Ken, like, how did you do this? Like, this is the early 2010s. It's one of the first SaaS software companies to have like extraordinary growth, extraordinary valuation. And he said, it's really simple. He said, I was one of the first employees of Franklin Covey in Utah. And Franklin Covey himself taught me that all you need to do is you document your quarterly rocks and then your pebbles. You put your head down and you hit those. And then you do it again. Then you do it again, do it again. So he said, what happened with InsideSales.com is every quarter we would write down our rocks and then our pebbles, and we would just execute against them. And 50 quarters later, I just popped my head up and we were worth $1 billion. When we started, it was like $10,000 and then $50,000, then 100. And $1 billion seems like so insane. You'll never get there. But it's kind of like if you've ever done a sport that's like aerobic sport, which seems tedious, like think of marathon running or cycling or anything like this. You'll get a couple miles in, you're like, oh my God, what have I signed up for? But if you just kind of look up and say, I'm just going to run to that light post. And then you look up again, I'm just going to run to that next light post and run to the next light post. And you just keep doing that over and over again. You end up getting 26 whatever miles later. So the concept here is consistency beats motivation. It's kind of like why my Misogi for this year is that I'm going to share an insight every day based on questions that people provide me, because it's that consistency will get my message out, and it obviously attracts people towards myself and us, and it grows the brand. But it's about doing it every day and being consistent. So what motivation means is I could want it. I could wish I had 1 million LinkedIn followers. You could wish that all day long. That doesn't matter. I'll give an example again. When I started Sales for Life, I think one of the worst mistakes I ever made was when we first started it, my old business partner and I, all we kind of talked about and thought about was, what do we want our exit valuation to be? And that's important, of course, when you first start a business because you work backwards from there. But I think we talked about it and thought about it way too much. We were motivated by, got to get to $10 million, got to be a millionaire, got to be a millionaire by 30, got to be a millionaire by 40, whatever it is. You could wish it all you want. But if you are not just writing down a milestone or a mile marker and driving to that mile marker, and then find another mile marker and drive to that next mile marker, and you do that long enough, you can claim it to be serendipity, you can claim it to be karma, whatever it might be, but the world seems to gravitate to those that have executed long enough that they can show this executional track record. That's consistency. So my recommendation is that instead of being motivated by money or being motivated to be sold or being motivated to make Inc. 5,000, all you need to do is document a mile marker, 1 mile into the future, 1 month or 1 quarter into the future, and execute against it. And then the next month or quarter, document another goal and do it. If you do that long enough, you'll peep your head up and you go, I can't believe, and there's this saying that Robert Herjavec talks about on Shark Tank, you'll completely overestimate what you can do in a year, but you will completely underestimate what you can do in 10. And that's, if you do this for 10 years, you'll be floored. 10 years ago, I didn't think I'd own 3 different agencies. I didn't think I'd build 3 different 7-figure agencies. I just put my head down and I woke up and it just kind of happened.